I want to believe you too, you're prepared to get the best of the market this morning. Today being Friday, the 21st of March 2025, and the last trading day of the week. All right, so this morning we are going to be starting with the dollar index this morning. Make sure one thing you should always do is whenever you're on TDA, try as much as possible to share the link with everyone on your social media status. All right, go and do that as fast as you can as we start off this morning with the dollar index. All right, so this morning we are going to be starting with dollar index to see where exactly are we, where are we heading to, and what exactly are we looking out to see on the dollar index. All right, so just stay back and watch through, pay attention, listening, and let's take the opportunities together. Okay, so this morning, what we have for the dollar index, you are going to observe this is the monthly time frame for the dollar index. Please let me know in the chat box if you can hear me loud and clear and if you can see my screen. Okay, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear and you can see my screen. So this morning for the dollar index, this is the monthly time frame, and as you can see on the monthly time frame, we are currently in more a range, all right, but we are moving from the premium within the range to the discount. All right, so that is for the dollar index on the monthly time frame. So because we are heading a bit down, all right, thank you, Japet. Okay, so we are heading to the discount part of the range in dollar index on the monthly time frame. So let's quickly look at exactly what we have on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we are after this long expansion, which is still within the monthly range. We are now seeing more of a pullback coming back into, this level here. However, if we go to more lower time frame, let's check daily. So on the weekly time frame, we establish the fact that the dollar index is currently in a ranging market. However, we've been seeing it pushing back. So if you see more of this swing on the weekly time frame, then if you go to the lower time frame, like 4 hours, like daily, is going to confirm to you that it is a bit bearish. But the overall from the monthly time frame is telling us we are in the range. And just as we already know that lower time frame makes up the higher time frame, however, higher time frame controls the lower time frame. All right, so this is the daily time frame for the dollar index. We are going to observe that we've seen a very clear market structure shift to the downside on the daily time frame, and that is telling us a very good story. All right, that currently the dollar is very bearish. You get the point now. So we've seen the support level being broken without even any retest yet, and it broken to the downside since on the 5th of March. And you see that. And after we begin to see more consolidation in the lower region of the dollar index, lower side, which is the discount region. All right. So what exactly are we heading to right now? Where exactly are we heading to for the dollar? Now we've established the fact, particularly on the daily time frame, that we are bearish, even though the monthly is telling us that we are in a range, but the range we are coming to the discount part, and weekly is confirming that, but daily has confirmed that we are bearish, of which we know that the lower time frame makes up the higher time frame, which means very soon, sooner or later, we are going to see the weekly and even the monthly playing out exactly what daily is showing us now. All right. So where are we heading to on the daily time frame? We are going to observe something here. I marked a level here, which is if you look at this breaker that was, violated to the upside. So I am still expecting that the dollar index should start proper into this breaker block. All right, just as we have it here. Although it did as though it's just rest on it a bit. But moving forward next week, there's probability to see a proper tap into that breaker before we begin to, long all the way to the upside. And that long is not going to be a very long one. You get it now. So it's going to be something like this is what we may likely to see in the market. We are going to see something like this mostly price, tapping proper into the breaker, then coming into the flip zone. You can see the flip zone already. Flip zone on the daily time frame is very, very powerful. Then that may send price all the way back down again. And if price begins to come down and violate that breaker proper to the downside, where are we heading to? We are coming back into this resistance here, just as we have here. You can see the resistance here that was broken. So we are coming back into that region. And we may now see a little bit push again into this place, then finally to come and clear liquidity below here. So that is the outlook on the daily time frame of the dollar index. All right. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, what exactly do we have on the 4-hour time frame? On the 4-hour time frame, since last week Thursday, the market has been consolidating. Last week Friday rather, the market has been consolidating. You can see it in a range all through since last week Thursday. However, I am of the opinion that today being Friday, there is probability we see more of a little bit, long for liquidity to be taken out here before we now begin to short back to the downside. And also, it's two ways happening today. So we may see price just, long a little bit to take out liquidity here. Remember what CJ do explain to us, that whenever we see market consolidating like this, we want to see the sharp move to the upside just to clear the early buyers, early sellers, then begin to move in the right direction. So we may likely see a very sharp move to this level here to clear liquidity at this top here, just as we have, resting at the top here. We may see something like this of this nature, price coming to clear liquidity here. All right. So when we see that, then we begin to see the shorts to the downside. All right. So that is for the dollar on the 4-hour time frame. Now on the 1-hour time frame, what are we seeing for the 1-hour time frame? Remember that on the higher time frame, we are still very much in a range. All right. We are still very much in a range. So where exactly are we now moving to? What we are expecting on the 1-hour time frame is we're expecting price to still, push a little bit more to this level, this high, pick up liquidity here. Then we can easily begin to sell again to the downside, just as we've seen price doing right here. Okay, that is for the dollar on the 1-hour time frame. And just as you know, we still look at it on the barest minimum time frame, which is on our 15-minute time frame. Now, on 15-minute time frame right now, what we are seeing more is price, creating higher high, higher low, higher low, and more like another higher high somewhere here. But we know definitely well that price is still very much bearish overall for the dollar index. So what you should look out for is look out to short the dollar, which simply means you look out for opportunity to long the other dollar correlated pairs. All right, so let's quickly check some few dollar correlated pairs like Euro USD. Now, if you look at Euro USD, sorry, don't mind my chart is a little bit messed up. All right. Cool. All right. So if you look at Euro USD on the, let's check from the weekly time frame. So you are going to observe Euro USD on the weekly time frame. This is what we are seeing here, that price has actually come to take out liquidity around this high. And because we are still expecting more of short on the dollar, moving forward into next week, that simply means there's still high tendency where we are still expecting to see Euro USD tap into is this weekly fair value gap. We are going to see there's a very big story, showing up somewhere here. So this is where I will be willing to short Euro USD over time. Now you're going to see there's fair value gap. This place you're seeing is the fair value gap, as you can see. Then more like a flip zone inside here. And you see this strong order block here. So when if by any means price gets here, then you are going to see a very long short on the Euro USD. All right. And knowing fully well where price is now, what are we expected to do? Now we've seen that this weekly breaker has been violated to the upside. However, we still expect price to come a little bit more and tap into this, fair value gap to the left and fair value gap to the right. That is IFPD, meaning this is what I'm expecting on the weekly time frame of Euro USD. Price to just do this, then pick up back again, then get here, and we may now begin to see the short to the downside. All right. So that is it for Euro USD on the weekly time frame. However, let's quickly check on the daily time frame. What do we have on the daily time frame? We are going to observe on the daily time frame, price actually came all the way to clear liquidity here, just as you've seen, and break all to the upside. However, we are expecting that price should, this is the daily time frame, price should get to this support that should turn resistance, but it was violated. You can see how price violated to the upside, and now we are expecting price to come back to that level for it to be a support again before it picks its move back to this, weekly reference point. And that weekly reference point, you can see, is more like a flip zone here. You can see that, and the weekly fair value gap. So that is how we build the story for the chart. All right. And if you check the 4-hour time frame, what exactly should we see on the 4-hour time frame? What I'm seeing on the 4-hour time frame right now is, just as we analyze the DSY, that we still expect it to, yes, it's bearish. However, we expect it to, push a little bit up to clear liquidity. Remember, so when we see DSY long a little bit to clear liquidity on that level we mark, then we expect Euro USD to short a little bit to this, our reference point. Remember, this markup is from our weekly time frame. We see confirmation on daily, and this is another confirmation on the 4 hours. So we expect it to short a little bit to this level. And when price begin to sell, meaning we want to see this happen here, price short, and for it to come and clear liquidity below here. So that is what we are expecting for Euro USD. Then we begin to long it back again. And because of what we are seeing happening around here, the price is still, there's still tussle between buyers and sellers. So that is why we are seeing this consolidation. And one thing about the market is, after you see consolidation, expansion, consolidation, then we now see grab of liquidity, which is the move we are expecting to the lower side, then expansion again to the upside. Okay, so if you check the 1-hour time frame, what exactly are we doing on the 1-hour time frame of Euro USD? We are going to observe on the 1-hour time frame of Euro USD, we are still very much bearish. However, we may see something like this happen today for the Euro USD. Just try to mark out this support that was broken to the downside, of price is highly, possible for you to run into it, then we begin to short back down again. Even though it has done something like that on Asian range, Asia session. All right, but I'm still expecting we can still see a little bit push to the upside before the continuation of the sell on the 1-hour time frame. Now let's check on the 15-minute time frame. What exactly do we have there? Now on the 15-minute time frame, there is a very typical, entry just few minutes ago, few hours ago, which is this that you can see here. You can see this is the shoulder. You can see the sweep of liquidity. You can see the sharp sweep of this shoulder, clearing it, and price pushing up to create higher high. So that's why we see price came all the way because of the Asian session this morning, and came all the way to clear liquidity around this level here. You can see how that price came to clear liquidity here. This is it. Price cleared liquidity here, and that is the entry for a buy, and gave an entry signature for a buy. You can see the entry signature for a buy there. All right. So that is for the Euro USD on the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, that's for Euro USD on the 15-minute time frame. Okay. Now moving forward, what exactly do we expect to see again? Is GBP USD. Please, can you still hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, please. All right. So the next pair we'll be checking now is GBP USD. Okay. So let's quickly take a look at GBP USD. Sorry, I guess the network is a little bit, giving some little issue right. Now,
Amen. Praise the Lord. The Great Commission. Just like
hear me, please? Please, if you can hear me now, sorry for the network glitch. I'm so sorry about that. So we said for Euro USD, this is the level we are looking to long from. Price already took out this level here, so we are looking to long. Price already took out this level, so it's a long day for Euro USD right now, all the way into this split zone. So when price gets here, then we will now look for opportunity to short proper to the downside. All right. So that is for Euro USD. So lastly, before we move forward, let's quickly look at GBP USD. What exactly is going on with GBP USD? If you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know in the chat box if you can hear me loud and clear. For GBP USD, you are going to observe that on the weekly time frame, GBP USD, its own level is still a bit at the top here, just as we have it here. However, we have more like a flip zone on the weekly time frame of GBP USD. All right, we have that flip zone happening right now. But if you look at the daily time frame, you are going to observe that price already got into this zone on the daily. So we expect some level of short a bit, just as the way we have it on Euro USD, a short into this failed support. This is here into this failed resistance rather. So we expect price to trade into this level and continue to push all the way to the upside. And for 4-hour time frame, the same thing. We've been seeing price, struggling with this level. However, we still expect it to short all the way, clear this liquidity, then begin to buy to the upside, knowing pretty well what we're expecting on the UDSY, which is the dollar. All right. Now for the 1-hour time frame of GBP USD, you are going to observe that its own move has not really happened, just as the way this Euro USD already did its own. We've seen how price clear liquidity around this level and create a higher high all the way to the upside. So price has come back again to sweep liquidity here, and that is what we see currently. So let's check on the 15-minute time frame if there's going to be any entry for GBP USD. For GBP USD right now in the 15-minute time frame, it has not really given any clear entry particularly. All right, it has not really given any clear entry particularly, and that is it. Even if you go lower than that, you are going to see that price has not really given that real move. Although we are seeing something that looks like it's somewhere around this place, but it's pushing back down. So don't just trade against the trend. Instead, trade alongside with the trend, which is the short of GBP USD, just for a little while. Then the overall long means pretty well that is very bullish. Now let's go to the precious metal to see what exactly is going on with the precious metal. Now for the precious metal, we've seen clearly that we are heavily bullish for the precious metal. We are just moving all the way to the upside on the precious metal. You can see this is the weekly time frame. We are very, very bullish to the upside. And the daily time frame, all you are going to see on the daily time frame is, price still break out, and we are saying that it's just, pushing a bit to the downside, but the overall trend still remains a buy all the way to the upside. And on the 4-hour time frame, we're going to observe is also consolidating, of which we may see price, do something like this moving forward. We're just going to see a little bit short to the downside, and when price get there, then we begin to follow all the way back up. So that is for the precious metal. All right, so that's for the precious metal moving forward. We are just seeing a little bit retracement to this flip zone, then we are pushing all the way back up. But if you see any buy entry, that should be the best trade you can take for the precious metal. And if you look at the 1-hour time frame, you are going to observe that price has built liquidity below here, and there's high tendency we see it come all the way, clear that liquidity, and begin to push all the way to the upside again. Okay, so that is what we are looking out for the precious metal moving forward, particularly into next week. All right, it's still very much on a bullish trend, and we are buying all the way. Now let's check what is the now trade for the precious metal. Wow. Now the now trade for the precious metal is a buy, as it already gave a buy signature somewhere here. Okay, so we can still see it, push all the way to come and clear liquidity very much at this very top here. And you can see how the price is almost nearing the 3,060 level. So that is most likely to happen today for the precious metal buy because of this buy signature that was printed somewhere around this place. All right. Now a quick one to Japan to see what's going on the yen basket. If you check the yen basket from the daily time frame, we are going to observe that price is very much in a consolidating level. And just as we said on Monday, we expect price, to push all the way to this fair value gap before coming into this reference point. But instead, we see the inverse move. It came first into this reference point, and we are now seeing it pushing back to the upside. Now, the moment price entered into our daily order block, that is telling us that the yen is ready to be bullish all the way to the upside. And that's what we are seeing currently here. All right. So if you see that, we are going to observe that price is already pushing to the upside for the yen basket. And if you check your 4-hour time frame, we are going to see where price is moving to on the 4-hour time frame, which is still the daily fair value gap that we have at the top there. Okay, you are going to see that price already broke out of this support, and right now it came again. Whenever price breaks out of the support zone, it could definitely come back, test it before the continuation. So that is what we are seeing price doing. So we may likely see price, tap a little bit proper here, or right now it's the buy. So today is most likely a buy day for the yen. Into next week Tuesday, we want to see the yen, become very much strong. All right. And if that is what we are seeing on the yen basket, what should we expect on pairs like GBP/JPY? Now, for GBP/JPY, all we should be expecting right now on GBP/JPY should be a sell to the downside. Remember our analysis on Monday for GBP/JPY that we expected to long all the way to the top. Yes, it delivered on Monday, and that is what we are seeing here. And then when price gets here, we expect for it to short to the downside. And as we can see exactly what price did. So you are going to observe that after price delivered to our POI, it's the expansion to the POI, we begin to see some consolidation there. And now it's breaking to the downside. So where are we expecting price to sell into moving forward? So what I'm expecting now is right now is a sell move for GBP/JPY. However, there's probability we see price do something like this, price pushing a bit into this daily order block, just as we see this 4-hour order block. When price gets into that level, then we want to short all the way to the downside for GBP/JPY. Now you can see the fair value gap inside of it. So that is what I'm expecting. This split zone is also a confluence for me, where we have the tussle before the sellers take over. So we are likely to see GBP/JPY just, long a little bit into that zone. That's for about like 40 or 30 feet. Then we begin to see the short all the way down. Now the short of GBP/JPY, where are we expecting it to come into? We're expecting GBP/JPY short all the way to come and clear this liquidity here, and even clear liquidity around this level here. But we are going to see the reference points clearly on the daily time frame of GBP/JPY, meaning we expect GBP/JPY to come all the way to even sweep the last low that we have here, which is here, just as we have it here. Okay, so those are the levels we are looking for GBP/JPY. Now, what is the now trade of GBP/JPY? The now trade of GBP/JPY is looking more like it's giving an entry signature. However, what I'm seeing right now, there is probability for price to stay push a little bit more to the upside. Yes, I know you've seen a market structure shift here. This is a shoulder. You've seen the sweep, you've seen the break. However, the first to break, there is probability for price to still come into this shoulder region, just as we have here. We may likely see something like this happen around this side. All right, so when we see this happen and price gets there, now it's not that immediately price taps into this level, that's when we should short. No, until you see your entry signature around this zone, that's when you should short, because there's still high tendency for price to still come and trade into this 4-hour split zone order block fair value gap. You see 3 confluence at the top behind that level, and this is just 15-minute time frame. So if you are shorting here, then that is going to be a very quick trade because your SL will be very, very small. So your SL is going to be about 14 or 15 pip. And what are we targeting? We're targeting somewhere below here, this low. All right. So that is that. This is the first entry. However, the very clean. This is more like a low probability setup, but the high probability setup for GPGPY is here inside of this flip zone and fair value gap, and also the way we have it here. This is it. So for GPGPY, we're expecting something like this for GPGPY with your SL just at the top here. Yes, someone said that that SL is very well. Yes. So just wait. When price gets somewhere around this zone, that's when you should look for your entry signature, not just results jumping. But if you just want to jump in, that means you are going to have a very wild SL. All right. So this is the outlook for GBP JPY. Now, lastly, for the other yen correlated pair, like let's pick AUD because it's a little bit lagging. All right. Now, remember on Monday we said we don't want to short AUD somewhere here, but we want it to come and clear liquidity here. And you can see what price is. It pushes even more, far more than that. And now, what are we now seeing on AUD moving forward? Because of what we've seen on the yen basket and what we're expecting on yen basket, what I'm seeing for AUD is this, that price is still most likely to come. You see this level that look more like a failed support resistance that is now, or it should now turn to a new support again. So we may likely see more push to this level here. And as you can see, we have a flip zone, another block, a fair value gap. So where I'm going to be willing to short AUD is going to be somewhere here with my SL just at this top here. All right. So my SL at this top here. So it's going to be like about 40 pips SL. And what are we targeting? We are targeting this low. All right. So that's about 1:7.5 or so. All right. So that is it for AUDJPY. Okay, that's it for AUDJPY. And if you check EUROJPY too, EUROJPY already, it played out what we expected last week, and now it's already breaking. It already broke down again. So I'm expecting price to come all the way for EUROJPY. Its own signature is a bit different right now. You can see what we should expect is more of this flip zone. You can see what happened here and this fair value gap. So this is it for EUROJPY. Moving forward, we want to see this on EUROJPY, then the sell to the downside. Okay, so that is that for EUROJPY. Now, what is the now trade for EUROJPY? If you look at it, the now trade, now EUROJPY is giving us a confirmation of what we are seeing on the GBP JPY, meaning it's still going to push to the upside because we did not see a clear market structure shift for EUROJPY. So it's still telling us that market is still going to the upside. So that low probability setup of GBP you may want to give it a trial, is a probability trade, and or you just leave it and let it play out until you see your signature show up. All right. So if there's any question, you can easily type in the chat box before we call it a day. Oh, Japet, my name is Lekon Shiemi. Yes, I'm Lekon. All right. So if there's any other question, you can easily type in the chat box. Once again, sorry for the break in transmission earlier on. We are so sorry about that. And that is it. Okay. So if there's no question, remember the ATM cash flow trading continues today. It ends today rather. All right. We've done that of gold. You can still easily watch the replay later. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Someone said, Jaffe said, which branch are you? All right. I'm in VFT branch. All right. So I work remotely. Okay. So we are still part of the team. All right. So that is it. If you have any other question. So, gold recap. Yes, gold recap. All we said is that we are still very much bullish for gold. However, we are expecting it to push a little bit to the downside, more of a little retracement. But where price is currently is showing more that price is pushing to the upside. because of the signature we are seeing around this level. So we are still very much bullish for gold. All right. So it's a bullish move, particularly from this level, we are pushing to the upside. And where is it targeting? The target is this level, or even to create a new all-time high. So don't look for anything short of gold right now. No, there's nothing short of gold. So instead, because we've seen price clear liquidity here and give a signature, you are buying gold. All right. So that is it for the market call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team. Just stay tuned and make sure you join in again by 2 p.m. for the New York recap. All right. Okay. So, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So that is it. And remember, we have some news coming up today again. So you can easily check. And if there's anyone that should how do I join Value Flow? All right. What you just do for you to join us, you can easily reach out to us on our WhatsApp line. Okay. Just reach out to us on our WhatsApp line. When you reach out to us on our WhatsApp line, you get the best of it and you can join any of our trading community. Okay. Does that make sense now? So all you need to do is just reach out to us on our WhatsApp line and we get you on board as fast as possible. All right, the WhatsApp line phone number is 081 60 99 50 30 081 081 60995030. So you can just give us, chat us up on WhatsApp and we are going to follow you up. Yes, thank you. 081 60995030. All right. So reach out to us on WhatsApp and we'll follow you up through that. All right. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you 2 p.m. in the afternoon for the New York recap. Once again, I'm Lekon Shemi. Cheers and God bless.